This is why I would never hire a stranger for a kid's birthday party. And if the photo's not bad enough, the mystery behind it is so much worse. And a reminder before I dive in that if you like all things spooky and true crime, check out my podcast. There's a link to it in my profile. So in the 1940s, the McLaren family in Houston, Texas was having a birthday party for their daughter, Rose. They hired a clown for the party, but an hour before the party started, they get a call from the company saying that the clown they hired was no longer available. They were going to send someone else in his place. And the parents are like, okay, fine, whatever. But then this man shows up to the party. And the kids are all terrified of him. No one really wants to take photos. The man stayed at the party for about 20 minutes and then just disappeared. But get this. After he left, the clown that they hired showed up to the party. And he apologized for being late. And the mother is like, what are you doing here? You canceled on us. And the clown's like, no, I didn't. And it was at that moment that one of the parents noticed that this little boy pictured here was missing. The little boy was never found, and the identity of this man remains a mystery even today.
Do you believe in coincidences? In 1975, a young boy of 17 lost his life in a tragic accident while riding his moped. Shockingly, this accident occurred exactly 1 year after when his 17-year-old brother met the same fate, riding the same moped, in the same intersection, at the hands of the same taxi driver, carrying the same passenger. The devastating story of Eskin and Neville, the twin brothers, is an unbelievable tale of coincidence. The assassination of Archduke Ferdinand in his car triggered the onset of World War I. Notably, the license plate number of the car he was traveling in was a 11-11-18. Interestingly, November 11th, 1918 was the exact date on which World War I came to an end. Now let me ask you again.
What are some of the craziest things that people have confessed to at the end of their lives? Well, in this series, I'm going to show you some of the wildest stories I found. And I cover all sorts of spooky and true crime stuff on this page, so make sure you follow along. So this story comes from a woman who was helping her mother at the end of her mother's life. The woman actually lived in Europe, but her mom lived in China, so when she got the call that her mother wasn't doing very well, she made the long journey all the way back. And right when she gets there, her mother asks all the doctors and nurses to leave the room. She apparently wanted to be absolutely alone with her daughter. So the daughter's like, what's up, are you okay? And the mom tells her she knows she doesn't have a lot of time left, so there's something she really wants to tell her. Her mother proceeds to tell her that she's not actually her biological mother. And obviously this comes as like a huge shock to the daughter, but it's nothing compared to what came next. The mother proceeds to tell her that when she was younger, she really wanted to have her own kids, but unfortunately she just wasn't able to get pregnant. And not only that, but she didn't have a lot of money, so going through an adoption agency wasn't necessarily an option. So she actually bought the daughter off the black market for adopted children in China, meaning she didn't know if the daughter's adopted parents gave her up willingly or if someone had taken her to put her on the black market. The mother actually passed away just shortly after that, and we haven't gotten any update from the poster if she got any more information on her biological family.
A group of friends were hiking in Virginia when they hear something inside the forest that horrifies them.
Lower than.
I think it's poison.
Wait, no, Britt, no.
No, hold on, chill.
I'm going first.
Oh, no, go first. I'm about to take a picture of it. You gotta get lower than that. Look at him move.
Oh my god.
Uh-oh, it's about to catch something. Y'all ready to go back?
Yeah. Yes, I am.
Yo, what the fuck is that? Look, in scary movies, this when they say, yo, listen.
Wait. Wait, how y'all realize before we do? Wait.
This is the face of Ronald Poppo, a homeless man who's been brutally attacked by a living zombie. On May 26, 2012, he loses his eyes, eyebrows, nose, lips, and face to a man named Rudy Eugene. 80% of his face is eaten on the side of a highway in Miami, Florida, and authorities assume the suspect is having a bad trip due to a new drug on the market that turns people into real-life zombies. However, when the test results come back, the drug report stuns everyone involved. I've done a full breakdown of the case here, and
This is the most deadliest article of clothing ever. These are shark skin gloves made from the skin of the basking shark. The catch is, once you put them on, you can't take them off. The inside of the gloves are lined with hundreds of thorns, and removing them would give you the sensation of 10,000 fishhooks tearing away at your skin. And I'm not just exaggerating, that is what his website actually says. The creator of these deadly gloves is artist and fashion designer Svruli Rekt, based out of Iceland. Named a lasting impression on his website and sold for around $720. The description of the gloves says this: the gloves are a lifelong commitment once a person wears them. You can put the gloves on, but to remove them would mean to cut them. Gloves for life or for one wear. The ultimate and final commitment. And these sharkskin gloves aren't even close to the craziest thing he's ever made. If you think those are crazy, just wait until I show you the ring he made out of his own stomach skin.
Used for science experiments? I would say so.
This is a YouTube video posted by someone calling himself Funky Fathead.
You can see a much more stable fracture.
He says he's using a computerized tone generator to open a vortex, a portal in time and space.
Somewhere in the States.
The video caught the attention of this man who posts videos from his home in England. He calls himself Hidden Underbelly.
He went on to experiment with portals and sound frequencies.
Hidden Underbelly spoke to us via Facebook messaging after this video racked up.
Did you know that in hell, Lucifer is supported by 6 other demons who rule hell together with him, including the demon Beelzebub, who is called the Lord of the Flies? Let me explain. In different works of literature, Beelzebub is considered to be one of the 7 princes of hell. In the book Admirable History, Beelzebub is said to have been a prince of the seraphim, which are the highest ranking angels, and was expelled from heaven along with Lucifer and now rules over hell. According to the book of Abramelin, Beelzebub is one of the 8 sub-princes of hell who helped the 4 princes of demons rule over hell and the demons that reside there. In the treatise on confessions by evildoers and witches, Beelzebub is said to be the personification of the sin of gluttony. And most interestingly, in the Book of Kings, Beelzebub is said to be the god of the Philistines. Fun fact, it was actually the book Dictionnaire in Feral which gives Beelzebub the name the Lord of the Flies.
Can I show you a scary video? No, because this video literally made me jump. And it also had a bunch of news articles written about it. Personally, I found this video during my Twitch stream through one of their videos, La Huella del Terror. Apparently, this video comes from South Africa, and it was posted on August 29th, 2022. So in the video, a couple starts to hear strange sounds at 3 a.m., and then this happens.
Baby. Baby, come on, see. Baby, baby. Babe. See, one. It's on me. Come on, see. What's that? Baby.
I'm sorry, bud. Do you mind if I talk to her again? Okay, I'm gonna bring Kyle in here with you, okay?
This is 16-year-old Kyle Hooper, Amber Wright's half-brother. He's just finished a grueling one-on-one interview with a detective and is clearly distressed.
Both your kids are in a thing for murder.
Number 2?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Well, we told you it wasn't a storm. I mean, it was like everything was planned.
Approach everybody?
Everybody.
Admitting that everything was planned is extremely important because it proves mens rea, premeditated criminal intent. So not only has Kyle essentially admitted to murder on videotape, he's also admitted to a specific degree of murder, first-degree murder.
We're gone.
They took my phone.
Everything's gone. James is on it too.
On what? Is it on this?
Now Kyle has also unexpectedly implicated his stepfather, James Havens III, stating that he is in on it too. Kyle Hooper, much like his sister, has told detectives a bit of a story while his mother was present. However, they likely realize at this point that he is the weakest link, as he was the one who originally confessed to his mother. He certainly doesn't seem to want to tell the full story in front of her, so the detective pulls him out into a room alone, where he sits wiping ink from his hands from his fingerprinting. Little does he know, a confrontation is about to begin.
So, sorry about that.
What's wrong?
I want to be perfectly honest with you, okay? This is how I work. I'm giving you an opportunity right now to lie to me. Okay? If you take that opportunity, okay, you're a fool.
No, I'm not lying to you at all.
Everything that comes out of your little mouth right now better be 110% the truth, okay? All right, now let's start back at the beginning.
She bought a strange antique doll set, and something followed her home. A man named Daniel explains that his mother's obsessed with collecting strange antique items. One day, she brought home a doll set and would soon realize allowing it into their home was a mistake. They first hear tapping sounds coming from the dollhouse. Then one night, Daniel's awoken by someone knocking on their front door. Unable to see who's on the other side, Daniel slightly opens the door, but no one seems to be there, and as he turns around, he swears the doll behind him blinked, followed by more knocking. After looking at the cameras and seeing no one behind that door, Daniel tries to get rid of the doll set, but his mother refused.
This former prison has a crazy history of witchcraft, cannibals, and scary dog ghosts. Today we're in central London to bring you more supernatural tales and spooky stories. This is the site of the former Newgate prison, just inside the original city walls. The Old Bailey sits here today, but this place held some of the city's worst criminals over the space of 700 years. The legend of the Black Dog is believed to have started around 1596, when a scholar was imprisoned in Newgate after being accused of being a sorcerer. This was during a huge famine in the country, and not long after being arrested, the scholar was eaten by other prisoners who had resorted to cannibalism to keep themselves alive. After eating the scholar, the prisoners responsible were driven mad and began to see the ghost of a black dog roaming the prison. Some eventually managed to escape the prison in an attempt to flee the black dog, but it is said that the ghost chased them and ate them one by one.
He was stuck upside down with blood rushing to his head 100 feet below the surface. Quickly realizing how serious the situation was, Josh raced back towards the cave entrance while another friend stayed with John, and the first person to arrive to the scene was a woman named Susie. Over the next few hours, dozens of more rescuers arrived at the scene. The plan was to put the ropes through climbing cams and attach one end of the rope around John's feet while the rescue team pulled the other end. They continued to haul him up inch by inch until finally he was high enough to make eye contact with one of the rescuers. The safety rope system seemed to be working. The safety crew prepared for the fourth pull on the safety rope. As they all yanked as hard as they could, something went terribly wrong. They heard something snap down towards the tunnel. The rope lost its tension and he plunged straight back down into the tunnel. And after every minute that passed, John's breathing continued to slow down. Rescuers escorted a doctor down into the caves to assess John's condition, as John had been trapped in the tunnel for 27 horrific hours. He sadly pronounced John Edward Jones dead. His cause of death was cardiac arrest from the strain placed on his body.
This is a horrifying story of the girl who went to the gym and never made it home. Molly McLaren was a 23-year-old student from Kent. She met Joshua Stimpson on Tinder in 2016 and they started dating. After 7 months of dating, Molly decided to end the relationship with Joshua. Following this, she received these text messages from him. Not long after this, Joshua was captured on CCTV buying a pickaxe and a knife. On the 29th of June, Molly posted on her Instagram account that she was heading to the gym. This is where things take a turn. She then texts her mother that Joshua had turned up to the gym and randomly started working out next to her. You can see in this image here that she sent to her mother just how close Joshua really was to Molly. Molly was obviously frightened and she even told her mother she was worried that Joshua might hurt her. Joshua then proceeded to leave the gym before Molly had finished her workout. He headed to the car park and waited there for Molly to leave the gym. He then approached her vehicle, and as Molly was entering her car, he proceeded to murder her with the weapons he had previously bought, wounding her 75 times. Joshua was then sentenced to life in.
This video is not for you if you get scared easily. The Bible says that there's certain fallen angels that got chained up and imprisoned under the earth. Person claims to have gotten an audio recording of one of those angels under the earth. Check this out.
Y'all hear the chains?
If you want to learn more about fallen angels, and subscribe and follow for more, and go watch the video I pinned in the comments.
If you open up Netflix today and you see this, hit play. Trust me, you want to watch this. Two things though, it's not new. It came out in 2019, but it's on Netflix today. It was released today on Netflix, but came out in 2019. Just clarification. And it's also not scary. Don't let the poster and the description fool you. It's not scary at all. It's a psychological thriller, and it is a must-watch. Trust me on this.
He kept helping his co-workers, even in the afterlife. A Texas overnight security guard at a construction site by the name Freddie explains that while working the night shift, his co-worker Jose needed help moving a heavy cable reel. When out of nowhere, a worker he's never seen before offered him a hand. You can see Jose guiding the reel. But when he goes around to thank the man, he realizes no one's there. Thinking the man he saw had left, he asks his supervisor, where did he go? After listening to Jose describe this man, the supervisor was in total disbelief. He took him to the break room where he showed him a wall that had a bunch of pictures of previous employees. Jose described seeing 21-year-old Alan Lopez, who lost his life due to a truck incident 8 years ago in that construction